To sew on the zipper, we have to put on a different foot. So currently we have on our foot that's a J. It's a straight foot and you use it most of the time. But back behind it, there's a little black button. If I push that, that presser foot drops off. So I just want to set that aside. I'm actually going to put mine right here so that I don't lose it. And then I've got my zipper foot ready. All you have to do to install the next foot is line up. There's a bar across the front. You're going to line up the bar with the little hook at the bottom. It's like a kind of like a claw. And then you lower your presser foot and now it's attached. So that's my zipper foot, and you should have your machine threaded just like you normally do. One really important step to this process is once we've got our zipper foot on, I need to change my stitch selector to stitch 2. Stitch 2 still says a J presser foot because I could use that and just sew straight, but what that does is it moves the needle to the center position. In selector 1, it is in the left hand side. Stitch 2 is going to be right in the center, and so if you test it, you can see that the needle doesn't bump into that presser foot. So make sure you're on a stitch selector of stitch 2. Alright, so I've got my presser foot already in location and I've got my needle down. I'm in stitch selector, stitch 2, stitch length of 2.5, that's just the standard length, and I'm going to start out on the left hand side of the zipper. I'm at the back of the zipper. So I'm going to stitch forward like I normally do. I'm going to stitch forward just a couple stitches and I'm reversing to the end. Okay. And then now I'm just going to stitch straight down. The key here is to not run into the zipper teeth. So I've got the edge of the presser foot lined up with the side of the zipper. So I want to keep it as straight as possible. It is not the easiest thing to do. But another thing that you can do is if you look on your zipper, and it may be hard to see in the video, but there's some lines that run perpendicular going across right here, and I'm also stitching on that line. So if you can't get the feel for having the edge of the presser foot lined up with the zipper teeth, then maybe just look at those little lines on the zipper itself and try to keep it as straight as possible. The tricky part is when you get up here by the actual zipper pull to get around it. And it is nice to just go slow and really watch it, but you may have to actually move the zipper out of your way just a little bit, kind of push it out of your way so that when you go around it, you don't bump into it. So I'm going to go all the way past that zipper head. When I get up here at the top, I'm going to just leave my needle down and do a nice pivot. So I'm going to pivot this direction. Okay, I'm going to sew straight across. Just if it were a normal, like a pivot on the corner of a pillow or something. And then when I get back over here, I'm going to leave my needle down in that same like perpendicular lines that are running across there, pivot again. And now I'll just sew all the way down the other side. So I'm just getting that zipper sewn in place. Right now I'm doing fine. I've got plenty of room. Getting around that zipper hole. Okay. Just keeping it in line as much as I can. If it's not perfectly straight, you know, you'll be okay. Just do the best that you can. And it's just really important to just take it slow, watch what you're doing, and you should be fine. Okay, when we get to this other end, I'm going to back stitch one more time. Okay, and now I'm done. I've installed my zipper. Alright, so we've just finished up putting the zipper in place, and now we are ready to make sure that it's working. So what we need to do is we're going to flip this over to the front side, and I am going to first go in to this center seam. Remember earlier, sorry it's hard to see there, when we sewed this zipper in, we used a really large stitch length so that we could go in and take this stitching out later. So I'm just going to carefully go in with my seam ripper and just rip that seam out. Okay, so I'm opening up that entire center piece. Okay, now you can already see my zipper is coming out, which is exactly what I want. So just going to take some time to go across, rip out this entire seam right here. Once you've ripped your seam out across here, across the zipper, now you just want to test to make sure that your zipper is actually going to function. Just pull across, make sure it opens, make sure that it closes, and then you are good to go. Now you can go in and take out those temporary basting stitches that you hand sewed in. Mine are done in black here, so I can just go in, rip those all out. Make sure you don't rip out the seam for the actual zipper.